Well, Israel has been expanding its operations yet again over the last few days, expanding to the center and the south of the Gaza Strip, particularly targeting areas there where it finds Hamas targets. Now, it's also announced on Thursday morning that 3 more of its soldiers have been killed in action overnight, bringing the total of Israeli troops lost to 167. Now, there have been indications from the Israeli Defense Forces that while central Gaza is not as important to Hamas, apparently, that there may well be a number of hostages that are still held there. So they're moving into these areas even while ground combat is being carried out, and carrying out searches, not just for hostages who may be held there, but the remains of those who may have died in captivity. Now, as that ground combat continues, we've seen the civilian population in Gaza displaced as well, hundreds of thousands on the move, approximately 90% of the population, indeed 1.9 million people have been displaced so far. They're trying to find safety wherever they possibly can, moving into vastly overcrowded areas, particularly towards Rafah in the south. This is Gazan health authorities have revised their death toll upwards on Wednesday to over 21,000 people that have been killed since the start of the war. Now, we've also seen a lot of pressure in the West Bank as well for Israel. They've been trying to clamp down on the security situation there. We've seen weapons and rockets found in the West Bank on Wednesday. That's led to yet further raids overnight into Thursday. Raids taking place in Ramallah, Nablus, Jenin, Hebron and Tulkarem, leading to clashes that have left at least 1 Palestinian dead.
As you've just said, the Palestinian casualties are mounting to more than 21,000, according to the Hamas-led health ministry in Gaza. This leading to increased international pressure on Israel to protect civilians. The French President Emmanuel Macron, one of the latest to call Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. What happened in that call, do we know?
Well, this is all part of the international pressure under which Israel is beginning to find itself. There's been these real sense of pressure trying to push Israel to take a lot more care in terms of how it is prosecuting its offensive in Gaza. Now, Israel has said on Wednesday, relatively late in the day, that it is in fact acting with precision. An Air Force officer came out to point to certain ways that they were prosecuting their war in Gaza and blaming Hamas for operating in these built-up areas. Now, you can see Emmanuel Macron's priorities speaking on the phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He was saying that it was a matter of trying to find a more lasting ceasefire. That was the priority for France, and that France would be cooperating with Jordan in terms of humanitarian operations. But elsewhere, we've seen this issue of violence between Palestinian civilians living in the West Bank and settlers as well. That's a priority for the French government as well, to try and put an end to that violence. However, it's only really poured oil on troubled waters. We've seen approvals for new settlements in the West Bank happen over the last few weeks. Now, for Benjamin Netanyahu, the priority really is the security situation. We've seen him mention the Red Sea, both the Red Sea, the freedom of navigation issue, and the situation at the northern border. Now, regarding the Red Sea, we've seen Houthis from Yemen attacking shipping. Israel has already said that Yemen is now another front in the ongoing war. And with regards to Lebanon, the situation there has only degenerated and become ever more tense since the death of an Iranian Revolutionary Guards general on Christmas Day. Their allies in Lebanon, Hezbollah, firing the largest rocket salvo of the war so far into Israel on Wednesday.